Hi everyone, Pocono Prepper here, and I am going to do an experiment. I have never done brined pickled foods yet. Can you hear the clicks of my... I did a sweet and sour relish in the back, and they're popping. How nice. I've never done brined pickled vegetables before, and I want to do what's called a sweet pickle because I like sweet pickles, and it requires brining. I didn't realize brining takes 4 to 6 weeks. So I'm going to take you on an adventure. I read the instructions. This is in my ball book. I did my calculations, and so I will show you a brief summary of what it says. Number one, it says to weigh all of your cucumbers before you begin, because the brining requires that you add salt on day 2 and then every week thereafter, and you have to know how much salt to add to keep a 10% brine solution. And so I weighed out my cucumbers. My cucumbers are roughly 4 pounds. I did the calculations for my brine for what I need to do. And so what it says is to put your 10% solution on top of the cucumbers. So since I didn't know how much I was going to need, I actually did 2 containers of brine so that I could cover the cucumbers. And I'm kind of glad that I did, because 1 is not going to be enough. So I'll put my second one in. Now, what I'm using is an old crock pot, and I got it at it's like an antique store, and crocks come in all sizes. This one is a 3-gallon one, and if you hear that dud, it's because there's stuff in there. But the dud is also the sound of an empty crock if the crock is no good. On a previous video I showed you that it makes a nice ringing sound, and so that's what you want to listen to if it does it, if there's no cracks or anything. So once the brine is in, the pickles are weighed, or the cucumbers are weighed, you then weight them down to keep them below the water. Now, 1 plate isn't going to do it because they want to raise above the water, so I'm going to get a second plate and put a second plate in. There goes another ping. Sorry, this is done with my camera, and I'm holding my camera as I'm walking around trying to video this. Alright, that seems to... There we go. 1 up and 1 down. So it's going to stay like this for 2 days. In 2 days I'll come back and I'll add more salt. According to my calculations, it'll be 1/8 of a cup of salt that I have to add to it. And then I'll let it go until next Saturday, at which time I'll add 1/5 of a cup of salt to it. And I'll add 1/5 of a cup of salt every week after that. There's another ping, until it starts to ferment. It should foam on the top and have a little bit of a scum, which I'll remove, and at the end of 4 to 6 weeks, I guess, and I'll know that because it says I'm to take a cucumber out and cut it in half, and if there's no rings on it, if it's all the same color, then fermentation is complete. So I will take you along and I'll show you what's going to happen. Now, if you look on the inside of the crock, you will see that there looks like there's all kinds of scum and stuff on here, and there's not. I can make it sort of go away when I hit it with the brine solution. But I scrub this really, really well in really, really hot water. And so what you're just seeing is the leftover brine marks from somebody who lovingly used this to prepare food for their family. So it's nice and clean, and I'm not too worried about it. But I'll take you on the adventure and we'll see how this turns out. These are my sweet and sour sweet and sour, it's actually a sweet and sour hot pepper relish. And I just finished these up. And it looks like they've all sucked down now, which is nice. So I'm doing this for my husband because my husband loves hot peppers, and I want him to be able to enjoy the fruits of his labor in the garden, and I want him to get used to my canning and, in a way, the beginning of my prepping. So come along for the adventure. It won't be done for 6 weeks. That'll bring me into sometime at the end of August. But I'll give updates to let you know how it's going. As always, have a great day.